This video contains content that may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
If he doesn't think that very many Negroes think like I do, then he is being mighty naive. And do you think that Negroes are going to continue to live in a society where dogs can be sicked on them at will and not do something about it? You're out of your mind.
Is there anyone here that would like to comment after having heard what Mr. X said?
No, I don't.
How about you, sir? Would you like to comment?
I don't agree with him because I'm not a follower of Muhammad myself. I think that all people have been mistreated in some form or another. But I don't agree with him. I don't follow Muhammad. I don't think anyone should follow one man. I think they should follow their own conscience. I think the main problem of most Negroes is that they feel sorry for themselves. And I think that this keeps them back much more than they would be if they didn't feel so sorry for themselves.
If Martin Luther King, Roy Wilkins, or any of these compromising Negroes who say exactly what the white man wants to hear is interviewed anywhere in the country, you don't get anybody to offset what they say. But whenever a black man stands up and says something that white people don't like, then the first thing that white man does is run around to try and find somebody to say something to offset what has just been said. This is natural, but it is done.
We knew this was going to happen. We just didn't know when. Charles Barkley, the latest shield for white supremacy, has stepped up to the plate to absorb the punishment from the black community. He makes statement condemning Kobe Bryant. Like, oh, his whole life story should be told, not just some of it. Charles Barkley he's a very good basketball player, hands down. But Charles Barkley been a hoe. This guy's been jealous. I noticed that about him when he was on the team with Philadelphia, which is why they could never win with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley proved himself to be a hoe when he threw that little bitty Mexican man through a plate glass window. Charles Barkley proved himself to be a hoe when he tried to spit on someone in the crowd and accidentally spit on a little white girl. Not only is Charles Barkley a hoe, but he's a jealous hoe. The guy has never won the big one in the NBA in spite of his great talents. He was jealous of, quite naturally, Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan knocked him out in the championships. And he's jealous of Hakeem Olajuwon, because Olajuwon knocked him out 2 times. He's jealous of Shaq. He's jealous for if anyone that's a winner, which he isn't. When the Houston Rockets made the very poor decision to add Charles Barkley to the team, they went and got Scottie Pippen as well. And Scottie Pippen said that he came to Houston to play with Charles Barkley's fat, lazy butt. But we all know that this is a trick by white supremacy. They had the little white ladies coming out making stupid statements. Then they had the black women coming out making stupid statements. Then they had a few black men making stupid statements. No, so now they're going to come out with Charles Barkley, who they think everyone, I guess they think everybody's scared of Charles Barkley. Let's get a guy to say something about Kobe who the black community is scared of. They're scared of Barkley. Bullshit. See, one thing about Barkley, he's not stupid. He's a country Bama, but he's not stupid. He's going to stay around you white people saying that kind of stupid shit. He would never, ever come into the black community spewing that kind of stupidity. We know you're a big old country boy. Ain't nobody finna wrestle with his big country ass. We got something called a goddammit, made especially for people like Charles Barkley. When Charles was in Philly, Larry Bird and Dr. J got into a little scuffle. Well, Charles Barkley grabbed Larry Bird's ass from behind, held his hand so that Dr. J could give Larry Bird a few stiff jabs to the mouth. I mean, when you see it, it's all funny. But it shows you about the character of someone named Charles Barkley. After all these stupid things Charles Barkley has done, it leads me to believe that his white handlers has something on him. And he has to suck ass and coon. Because I'm saying to all the, when he threw the person through the damn plate glass window, spit on the little white girl. Somebody told me, hey man, if you don't do what we tell you to do, sir, we're going to bring these charges back up on you. So when black people start getting a little rowdy, here comes Captain Charles Barkley. You see how he grabbed Larry Bird from behind? How he's holding Larry Bird's hands? Man, this guy here is, I don't know what to say about it. I would love to have him on my side in the fight. See, that was an all-out assault on the character of black people. If your character is strong, they have to wait until you're passed on, where no one can question it. And they will send out their little reporters to say this and that, white first, then followed by a black person. Then they'll come out with their foot soldiers, like Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley's just big and stupid. You know, he says things with no credibility. I mean, by now we should, like when things like this happen, the first thing we should say to ourselves is, I wonder which one of these coons is going to be the first one to be a shield for white supremacy. Like I said, you know they're going to come out with the white ones first. But then they got the old standby. People like Charles Barkley. You know, we see that Eric Dyson is kind of stepping up to be this coon. And you know you have the reporters, they are hired to be coons. I think they don't mind being coons. But there are two top male coons is Steve Harvey and Charles Barkley. And while people like Charles Barkley want to talk about someone's whole life should be talked about, why doesn't anyone talk about Charles Barkley's whole life? The different incidents he's been in, brawls and fights, throwing people through windows, spitting at folks, this was very nasty. I mean, if somebody spit at me, man, that's, hey man, like talking about fighting words, that's time for killing. I mean, we have to hit these people where it hurts is in their pockets. Whenever they hire somebody like Gale or Barkley to say derogatory things towards black people, they do it so that you can watch and see what's going to be said next. Stop watching. Stop watching those channels. The people that support that channel, stop doing business with those companies. Hit them in the pocket. On this picture right here, all these people are champions except for Charles Barkley. And they can talk about, the other players can talk about what it feels like to have won the championship, except for Charles. A guy like Charles Barkley, man, should never be allowed back into the black community. I mean, since you feel that way, just don't let him back, because we all know that we've seen this play before. Black people like Charles Barkley want to thumb their nose at other black people. Then, when they are rendered useless, they have nowhere to come to except back to the black community. And when he come back, we ought to have that fire waiting on his ass. We have to let these people know that we are displeased with the actions of these black people who are supposed to be representing us. You want to call them the first black journalists, this and that? Well, how come they don't represent the concerns of black people? And we're just not going to play that game anymore. Send your emails, write, call, ESPN. Flood them. Let them know that you are displeased with how they continuously hire guys like Charles Barkley or this Jason Whitlock fool. Call these different stations, CBS, ABC, whomever it may be. One thing about Charles Barkley, he does not fight fair. He is a dirty fighter. The way he held Larry Bird from behind and held his hands so Larry Bird couldn't punch back or defend himself. See, when these white supremacists with these news outlets make these statements about black people come out and say, oh, that's not right. They are followed up by sending in a black person to say those same things so that you cannot say, oh, it's racism because a black person is saying it. That's how the media fights dirty. You know, if it's a male actor or a comedian, they'll send in Steve Harvey. But if it's an athlete, in comes Coon Charles Barkley. We should know the playbook by now. I mean, I can understand us getting upset about what's being said because I get upset too. But after I sit down and think about it, this is the same playbook that they've been running for years. Don't think for one moment that they do not count on black dollars to survive. Since we know about struggling, we should hold on to our dollars, not just be so easy to be separated from it. And that would show these people, hey man, that we're not playing this mess. If we got to hold out to get what we want, that's exactly what we're going to do because you holding out on us anyway. So if we're going to do it, it might as well be for a good cause. As I keep saying, man, unplug yourself from the matrix. Guess what? You know, it's nice weather outside. Go outside. Quit sitting in front of this little box for hours on end being programmed. Programmed to be angry all the time because they're always going to say something derogatory about you and your people. And they're going to find a coon like Barkley to echo those same sentiments. You know, since the stupidity with Stephen A., I just don't watch those sports shows anymore because, you know, you have guys that are not athletes up there saying a bunch of stupidity. If they do have a guy as an athlete, he's not a real champion or a winner. He's just a buffoon up there spewing some stupidity. We don't own ESPN or any of these media outlets, but they do depend on us to watch it. That's how they make their money. And since that is the case, all we have to do is stop watching it because we are not pleased with the programming that has been presented to us. One thing about black people, you know, we try to be nice and honest. But throughout our existence, people have always fought dirty against us. And since that has happened to us, we know how to fight dirty. We just refuse to do it. But I think it's time now that we start fighting back dirty. We got to let these people know that we don't appreciate what they're doing. We see what's going on. We've been seeing what's going on. And since we realize that you count on our dollars and our viewership, we're going to show you how to fight dirty.